We're three millennial Latina first-time moms and entrepreneurs who connected at the start of our radio careers. From partying at nightclubs to figuring out Nightfeeds, we've been friends for 14 years.
We're not experts, just honest moms navigating motherhood together, from pregnancy and the newborn stage to toddlerhood, one phase at a time.
We're excited to share what we've learned, what we wish we'd known, and everything in between.
Welcome to Nightclubs to Nightfeeds. Episode 12!
Woo!
Wow. Wait, are we going to have a quinceañera? What? I'm just already thinking, like, that's on the horizon.
I feel like we should.
We should.
Right.
For episode
15.
we should wear like really cute little
As
dresses.
a Latina mom
Wow.
podcast, we should totally have
In
a
a big
quinceañera.
old
Yeah.
dresses in here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, put a pin in that for episode
Pin in that.
15. But here we are, episode 12,
Sheesh.
talking about literally what was so hard for me, regressions,
Yes.
growth spurts,
Teething.
how that messes with baby and everything. Let's get right into it.
Okay.
Regressions first, because that kicked my ass. The 4-month
Yep.
sleep regression.
Wait, I want to hear about that because you have such a great sleeper too.
That I think that's
Yeah.
why it totally
That's why it was so
rocked my
obvious.
world.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it was hell. And then every time I bring this up to my husband, I'm like, oh, remember that 4-month? He's like, no.
No?
Oh my god.
I'm like, of course.
You're like scarred. I'm scarred,
him
okay?
and Zaire are the same person.
Yeah, he's like, I don't remember it was like that. I'm like, yeah,
course.
it's because I was the one.
Yeah.
I was the one dealing with
Right.
it. But that 4-month sleep regression, and I know that everyone was like, my cousin has a son who's a little older than Santi, like 4 months to the day.
Oh,
They're born on the
wow.
same day, 4 months apart.
Wow.
So when she was going through it, she's like, bitch, this is no joke. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's probably
I have
not-
a good sleeper.
Yeah, I have a really great sleeper. It's not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
No. This shit rocked my world so much. Like that's when I felt all of the things, like the depression, the like, can I do this?
Wow.
This is so hard. And I didn't think it was so bad. I thought this is just what it's going to be now. Like I
From
was
now
stuck
on.
in it. It's just going to be this shit show.
How long did it last for?
2.5 weeks.
And how drastic did
Oh
it
my
change? Like, was he
gosh.
just refusing naps or what? Like,
Refusing naps, refusing sleep. So like he wasn't sleep trained yet. We started sleep training a little after 6 months.
Okay.
And they say don't start sleep training
Right.
until
Until
then.
at least 4 months.
Right, because
Yeah.
they're going to have a regression and it's kind of going to mess
Yep.
everything up anyway.
Yeah.
So we listened to that and we didn't start sleep training him until 6 plus a little bit, in between 6 and 7. So, but he still was a really good sleeper.
Yeah.
And by then he was still in the snoo. He wasn't in the crib yet. So the snoo was like, oh, put him in the snoo and he's asleep. And now
Yeah.
we'd put him in the snoo and he's like, nope. Like, I don't care.
Wow.
And like, you have the snoo. So like when they cry more in the snoo, it will start rocking them more and it'll get louder. So it will
yes.
it will
I
go
love
based
that.
on based on like if they
The
need a
white
little
noise
more.
gets louder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it'll rock a little heavier. Like if they need a little more, it gives them a little more. And this boy would cry so much, like the snoo would just turns off at a point because it's like, yeah. Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck with
Poppy,
this baby.
Poppy was like that before having a sleep regression
Oh my
because as we
gosh.
know, it was just difficult. But I feel like during the regression, yeah, there was a couple. So our friend let us borrow her snoo, which was similar to you.
Yeah.
And so she still had the app on her phone. And I think she like forgot to disconnect it or something. And it sends you a notification when it's reached that point. It like turns red and it says like the snoo is turned off because it's been like too long of it trying to soothe the baby. So she would text me. She'd be like, do I need to come get Poppy?
No, we would literally call it destructive mode because it goes like, it's like really
so
loud.
intense.
It's like the
Wow.
last final, like
Yes.
we're gonna do this last
gonna try
final
to help
big
you.
one.
Parents come in the room.
Yeah, literally. And like the baby
Wow.
is not sleeping. Henry's like, it's destructive mode. Like
Yeah,
it's
destructive
we need to go
mode.
in there. And this dude would not sleep. Like naps. And at 4 months,
Yeah.
they're still napping a lot. They're
Yeah.
like most
They
of the
are.
day they're napping a lot.
Yeah.
And this dude,
Yeah.
every nap was difficult. And then I think it's a little harder because at 4 months we already had our parents coming, so they would be with them during the day, and then it's like, why aren't they sleeping? Are they sick? Do they have a fever? It's like always something, and I'm like,
So many
it's a
opinions in
regression,
that.
and it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck's a regression? They didn't know about that.
They
with us.
didn't know about When I would bring it up to my mom or to Zaire's parents, they'd be like, that's not a thing.
right,
That's not a thing.
So when
and
I would
people
be like,
don't know that multiple, like they
Regressions
have multiple,
have
like it's
multiple.
like 4 typical. Apparently, according to Dr. Google, typical is like 4 months, 8 months, 12 months, 18 months, and 2 years.
Right.
So like, and then
And
some
2
people get it early,
years.
some people get it late.
yeah, it
So,
doesn't
like,
have to be at the 4. Maybe it's at
Yes.
the 5. Maybe it's at the 4.5 of the
Wow.
month. Yeah, like you don't know when it's going to happen. This was for sure a fucking regression. Like,
Yeah.
literally.
You got it right on time at 4 months.
Exact. And his teeth were coming in at that same time.
Same.
So we're like, it's a regression.
Yes.
And his teeth are coming in and he's in pain and I feel bad for him. And I'm like, oh my God, all of the things are happening.
Wow.
And then I also thought like, this is how it's going to be when every tooth comes in.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And thank God it's not like that. Because like he has teeth coming in now. He's just drooling a lot. And they did tell me like the first tooth is going to be the worst one.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why the 4-month regression is so memorable, is because both of those things.
Well, not memorable
sometimes are
for the
helping
husbands
it.
and our partners, apparently.
Ridiculous.
For us, scarred, okay?
Yeah.
PTSD, I think like both those things happening in tandem, because you're trying to like solve the sleep regression, then you're also trying to like soothe them with like teething stuff. Like we started the little like drops and like would try to do
The
some
camellia drops.
camellia drops.
We had those.
Godsend. And I feel like sometimes, who knows if they were even working. I was just like, this is helping me mentally to know that I'm doing something to fix the problem, because you just feel so like out of control.
Yeah.
Like we thought we were in this rhythm. Now we're not in this rhythm. Now a new tooth is coming. And is this going to happen every time one little tooth pops up? Like,
Thank God it doesn't.
oh my God,
That's
it does
not what
not.
happens.
It does not.
Thank goodness.
It definitely, like, Poppy still went through that because she did grow teeth very early. And I feel like we still were constantly like going through a slight regression. It was not as hard as the first tooth. And I think kind of almost both her teeth kind of came in at the same time too. So maybe that was why it was like escalated. But I think the other regressions were bad, but not as bad.
So my
as that
question
first one.
is, those are Dr. Google's, that's what Dr. Google says about regression. And then 2 years, that's the last one. There's not going to be any more regressions.
That's what it says for now. But
So
I'm like,
you're
oh
done.
my God. Well, so I thought, but I feel like Poppy's sleep was way better when she was a 1-year-old, way better when she was a 2-year-old in the crib than it is now. Like she wakes up just the same, like she wakes up once or twice a night now.
She's like,
still,
what's up?
Which is like great. Like I'm like, is that a regression? Like what does that qualify as? But as you know, as we've all Dr. Googled it about regressions, like the regressions usually mean that the baby is going through a big developmental change, which I think was like somewhat helpful. Like sometimes when we'd see those big developmental changes happening, I'm like, uh-oh, here we go down to the sleep regression hole again, because you see like, oh, they're like babbling more, or they start standing up or crawling. I feel like was a big sleep and I think that's the 8-month one. That's usually like,
we didn't really have a regression there. Like
no,
if it went under the radar, but he was doing all that. We definitely had the 12-year. I mean, the 12-month.
12 month.
The 1 year.
12 months.
For us, the big one was 9 month. The 9-month regression was big for us. And it happened, it was so annoying. It happened the same week Zaire got COVID. So he was quarantined in another room in our house.
Again, mom is on it.
Right.
By herself.
I was pissed at him because I also had to cater to him. Because I did not let him leave that room. And fortunately, the room that he was in, there was a bathroom right across the hall. So you could literally just
use
few
those.
steps.
Yes.
Yeah. But it was just so annoying for me because I'm like, oh, good for you. You know, but Saint also learned how to wave. He said mama and dada all the same week. The same week that and also Zaire missed it. He missed like the mama and the dada, the first words. But yeah, that was really hard for me because I also wasn't too. He didn't go through like big regressions. The 9-month one though
was the big one.
That one was the big one, and I didn't really know how to navigate. I didn't know that you could like just push the nap over or just like push it up or whatever to make it like make sense. He's going to sleep a little later. I did not, and I just at the end I just had to just give in. I'm like, whatever. If you're not going to sleep, whatever. We're just sitting here.
At some point,
at
some point, there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
But just know that the
helps.
baby will sleep when the baby's ready to sleep and tired. Like it will happen eventually.
And that's why I feel like the wake window thing is a big, like when the regression happen, like all of these things are happening in tandem, right? The baby is developing new skills. The babies also might be telling you, hey, I'm transitioning to a different nap time.
Yes.
Down one nap, which is usually when all of this starts, is like, okay, I actually don't need this whole 2 naps now. Now I'm just going to combine it into one longer nap.
Yeah.
Which, like, again, parents that don't know about the sleep cycle and like all these like wake times and whatever, they don't know that part. And it's just like all hard and there's no understanding, which is I feel like why we're talking about it here. Like if you have a baby coming or a small baby, like it really does help mentally for you to know those background things to be like, okay, this is what's happening with my baby. Let's try to figure out, do I need to lessen the nap? Does the nap need to be shorter? Like where is it developmentally for them? You know,
there's also an app that really helped me. It's called the Wonder Weeks, and I just met a mom
because the leaps
recently.
are in there, right?
The leaps are in there, so then it tells you around the same time that like, okay, they're going through a leap, they're going through like the milestone, whatever. So it's
like a caution.
Yes,
this is coming.
And you could add it to your calendar, so it tells you in your calendar, and you're like, oh no,
yes.
Oh god, here
so
it comes
brace
again.
yourself.
Yeah, brace yourself. Everybody brace yourself.
And it's really just for the first year. I don't need it now that Saint's almost 2. I don't need it.
Good to know.
Which
For
I
sure.
have to unsubscribe so I don't get charged.
Yes.
How was teething for you guys? Because we kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Our teething situation happened during sleep regression.
Saint was really behind on teeth. His first tooth didn't come in until about 10 months.
Oh wow.
His second didn't come in until 12 months.
Oh.
Wow.
Now he's 21 months. He's still behind. He only has top 4, bottom 4. No. Top 4, bottom 4. Last week, his canine tooth just ripped through the gum. So I knew he was teething, but his molars haven't come in yet. Like I can feel underneath.
But when he's teethed, even those 4 on top, 4 on bottom, he didn't have a big reaction.
No.
Like fevers,
That's great.
like any of that stuff?
No, he didn't.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
when the first one came through, I noticed it and I was like, oh, and I like almost cried. So I was like, you're getting older.
Yes.
Like it's happening so fast. But no, like we didn't and even like I have to take him actually since our conversation. Well, our conversation about a lip tie.
Even somebody in our comments when they watched our episode, she said it sounded like a lip tie, which her son had as well.
Yeah. But I don't think she ended up getting it lasered for him.
I don't know.
But I do see it's really hard to brush his teeth, the top teeth, because the lip tie is really tight. It's really tight.
So you guys are going to correct it?
Yes. So we have a consultation. I'm hoping later this month. Zaire's doing a lot of traveling, so I want to make sure he's here for that. Because I do want a second opinion, because I didn't like the way the first dentist
Got it.
told us about it. But
when did you take him for, if he hadn't had the lip tie, did you take him for his first dentist appointment, like outside of the lip tie?
Was when I took him, it was 14 months with his first dentist appointment.
I need to schedule Santi's. Yeah. He's been to the dentist because he had the tongue tie.
Yeah.
Right.
But then at his 12 month, at his 1 year checkup, they were like, okay, you can schedule his dentist now. I'm like, already?
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He
Saint
has
hated
8
it.
teeth.
Yeah, he hated it. Yeah.
So I actually yesterday, Henry was like, yeah, we need to schedule that. So.
And I think a lot of parents don't know how early you're supposed to take the babies to the dentist, and I only know because of the moms before me, and they were like, I didn't know we had to go before 3, and so they didn't take their kids till they were like 3, and then all these. I had 2 friends whose children had to have root canals at 3 years old.
Oh my God!
Yes,
How do you even deal with that? Do you even have a root?
Yeah, exactly.
What root? Where?
Yeah, it was like, well, one of them was able to correct it without having to do the procedure because in both instances they were like, if we do this, we have to put your child under. And obviously being a 3-year-old, like neither of them wanted to do that. And so one of them, it was breast milk related. The other one was bottle related. So that was like, speaking about going from newborn to infant to all this stuff, like I was terrified with that stuff. So I took Poppy off the bottle immediately at 1. Like I was very like adamant because I saw what they went through with the teeth stuff that I was like, no, like I've had a lot of cavities growing up. So, and I know it's hereditary. So I just like try to
I didn't know it was
keep it as,
But yeah, so when we took him to the first, and this is the reason why I want another consultation with another dentist, because the dentist we went to was very judgy. And so I was at 14 months when we took him. I was still breastfeeding, and I still am breastfeeding too, but it's down to just like a couple of times. Even then, she was like, yeah, you need to stop because it's going to mess with her teeth. And I was like, what do you mean? Just got it. Like saying that. Well, yes, I understand it's part of your job. Yes, I understand breast milk can still be harmful if you don't brush your teeth.
If you went to a lactation consultant, they would probably say the opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
So
they're always
kind of just have to
Exactly. So I found anyone listening, if you know of a good dentist, like more in the holistic space, please drop it in our comments because I'm looking for another one to go to. But there's one we found in, I think it's like Hermosa Beach, actually, that we're going to get a second opinion. So I just wanted to get our options. And because Saint, I don't think he'll just lay there while they do the laser procedure.
Ours is in Redondo.
Okay.
So
send me their information. Send me their information.
We love our dentists too, and they're like in Norwalk area.
Okay. Send me their information. Because I also want to see like the cost of it, if insurance covers it. If not, I've been just calling different places. And I want to make sure that it's an enjoyable-ish experience for Saint at 2 years old. He knows what's going on. So I don't think he'll be like, okay, mama, let me sit here, open my mouth with this weird old laser, just cuts his,
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, for Poppy's first dentist appointment, I kind of like she kind of like sat in my lap a little bit, and I just like held her like this. So it was like,
the dentist?
We were hugging. Because I was afraid that,
Was it not a dentist?
It is a child dentist, but she told me if you want, you can
actually.
sit there with her because this is her first time. We just want to get her used to, like, they were technically supposed to do a cleaning, but because it was her first time, they're like, we're just going to do the cleaning with a toothbrush.
Yeah.
So then the next time when we're actually putting tools in her mouth, she's not as scared. So that definitely has helped because, she's fully aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
And, like, now enjoys it because it looks like an amusement park in there anyway.
Yeah.
So that is very helpful.
Our dentist is like kids running around like it's a little amusement park and it's like a little airplane or a car that they can sit in.
That's cute.
And then they're like fully reclined and they have like TVs up there.
Yeah, the place we went to had the same thing, but I just didn't like, man, like the
vibe.
The shame.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and the lack of information.
No.
But
and there's also other solutions that people will say, okay, if you're still breastfeeding or whatever, you can wipe their teeth before putting them down, because the biggest culprit, I guess, with the bottle is like the milk sitting, right? So then some people are like, okay, I just like open it up and like wipe their teeth or whatever, so that it's not sitting on the back of their mouth, whether it's a bottle or
breast
boob.
milk.
Either one. The sugar just like sits there is what they say.
That's what they told me too. Yeah, and I started doing it, then I just forgot. So
I mean, that's normal.
That's literally mom life. Hashtag mom life.
You know what? Actually, I know we want to talk about growth spurts also. So Saint's almost 2. I feel like I said that a million times. But what happened the other night was interesting. It was after bath. I was putting his pajamas on, and he kept saying, "Ow, ow," and he was like touching his knees and his legs. So I wonder if he was experiencing growing pains.
I had those so bad.
I never experienced that. But
Really?
my sister-in-law was telling me that her daughter, my niece, at night, she's 5 now, but she would be like, "Mama, my legs hurt." And
Same. I remember like vividly my mom massaging my legs in the middle of the night, like because I would wake up, and I remember being on the couch and I would just be like, "Oh," and
what
my
did
mom
it feel
just
like?
massaged, like
achy,
like sore, like if you like walked on them all day. More like a sore achy. Yeah.
It kind of reminded me like when I got shin splints from like playing sports and older. It kind of felt like growing pains, like kind of a little.
Tight.
It's like tight and.
I
like
wonder that's what he was
tingly.
feeling because he kept saying "ow, ow," and he was like pointing to his legs. So I was just like massaging his thighs.
Little legs are growing.
I know, and I think that's because I don't know if we had any necessary. Well, I guess the 9-month was the biggest one, like the regression and like the growth spurt. At 6 months, I think it was kind of under the radar too, because he was crawling at 6 months. He was like a quick mover.
Yeah, that is early.
Yeah, so he was moving, but I don't think we had experienced, like I don't remember if we did the growth spurt then. The 9 months is
sometimes I think I thought the 6 month was like kind of around the starting solids time, right? Like it's like 5 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think the regression might happen then because it's like, they're developing this new skill of eating, depending on how each of us decide to feed.
Yeah.
Like they're either feeding themselves now, which is like a big developmental thing too. Like, did you guys both do baby-led weaning or
for sure?
Or
so I am still trying to teach him how to use his utensils, but he has been feeding himself since 6 months. Like I'd put it there on the table and he like
hand feeds.
Yes. But when it's food, like I'll make him fideo a lot, like soup kind of.
Yeah.
I have to feed it, and I can't wait for him to be able to like use a spoon fully, where he doesn't.
We're
make a
still
mess.
not doing that. So.
Really, that's what I'm curious about. When does that fully happen?
Well,
because
I mean, soups is like I'm not ready to let her do soups by herself just because I'm like I'd rather not deal with the giant mess.
The mess, exactly.
And she does not want to wear bibs anymore, so it's like
Saint doesn't either.
You know, so it's I'd rather just do it, but she can like mash anything that sticks to the spoon is easy. Like she will obviously like mashed potatoes. Any of that kind of stuff.
Good. I should
but
try
she
that.
still like prefers to pick up things with her hands. And I think like that's my fault because I think baby led me, I just rip up the stuff and I will feed her with my hand
Right.
So it's like and I try to be more cognizant of like pick it up with the fork. But sometimes I'm like, whatever. She's eventually
She's
gonna
doing
get
it.
it.
She does it sometimes.
I mean, adult
she doesn't. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I know. I know that stresses me out, and I'm like, he's gonna get it eventually. Like when he gets it, when he's old enough to get it, he's gonna get it.
He's a good eater too, right? He'll eat everything.
Eat everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he's not so heavy on the breast milk, because this dude eats all day and like loves eating and loves food now.
That, yeah.
He's not that like heavy on
the milk.
Give me leche. Yeah.
Yeah, so when we did baby-led weaning, which is basically you letting him or the child lead the way into what they're eating, even if it's like a big, scary thing, even if like they kind of not choke, but
you learn the difference between choking and gagging.
Gagging, that's the word. Even if
they're gonna have a
little
reflex, but they're learning. It's
right,
all,
and
like,
so they're exploring their mouth, the depth of their mouth, what kind of fits, what doesn't, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the benefits to it is I think all of us can say what we think the benefits are like for us, but the benefits are supposed to be that the child will eat more of what you eat, because you're technically you're supposed to be giving them more of what you made
your food
for dinner, and being less picky, hopefully, but which obviously doesn't always happen, but that's the thought. And then letting them explore the depth and all that stuff.
It also lessens the chances of them choking.
Yes,
because they know.
They are monitoring like how much they can take, their intake, what they can handle, what they can't handle.
Oh my God, so stressful
about that.
Yeah.
It was stressful.
I was stressful more so because when one of our parents were there, they were so stressed. And like,
oh my God,
when they do gag, I read and I was prepared, like this is gonna happen and it's okay. And once he's like, we'll know if he's choking, then we like take action, you know. Let's not try to freak out. And then having our parents there is like, oh my gosh, ay Dios, Jesus. And I'm like,
my mom, I was in a meeting and my mom would be like, Nicole, and I was like, oh my gosh, something's happened. And it's like, and I go run downstairs from the meeting, run down. Oh, I thought he was choking. I was like, are you kidding me? I told you. Okay, anyway.
No, it's that for the baby-led weaning, that's what was
that
stressful
was the most stressful part.
Yeah.
Literally, the older generations being like, why would you give that child an entire carrot? What are you doing? You clearly don't know what you're doing. This is a mess.
I know. But I mean, none of that shit worked because Saint, he's picky anyway. Like he's picky with his food. He's picky about texture. He's picky about like all
But we learned that may be the tongue tie.
The lip tie.
The lip tie, maybe that. It also might be something that's like genetics, because Zaire's super picky too. That may be it. That also might relate to sleep, which I really want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Not on this episode, but the sleep stuff, which also might be connected from what I'm reading about in this book. So yeah, there's a lot of things. And also the teeth. So I recently learned this, since he doesn't have the molars, he technically doesn't have the enzymes to break down certain foods. So the taste of it changes. So he doesn't like certain foods because he can't break it down.
What doesn't he like?
Girl, name
like
something. Everything.
What does
he like? Yeah.
He does like pasta. He likes mac and cheese.
Okay.
He's
likes Italian.
My mom's rice. Like starchy stuff.
He's a carb. He's a carb guy.
He's a carby. But our pediatrician
He's a Kardashian.
Yes. That. So I can count on him eating that.
Yeah. So that's good though, because that's hearty food.
Yes.
It's not like
which I'm okay with me still breastfeeding, because at least I know he's getting nutrients from me.
Yes.
Yeah. And I give him multivitamins too.
But the way you put your veggies in your pasta, it's all about
pasta.
The facade.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am the queen.
That muffin recipe that you sent me.
Yes.
They're delicious. And I don't know, I told you Santi does not like zucchini. And the muffins, it's like he figured
all
out
up
there's
in that.
zucchini in them.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he ate the first batch, and then now I'll give him one and he'll have like 3 bites and then leave it there. But me and Henry
eat it up.
Devouring
fuck
them.
up these muffins.
We'll just change it. Instead of zucchini, add something else.
But I want
Give
him
it
to
some
eat
time.
zucchini.
Yeah.
Like I eat zucchini so much. Like we eat it so much in our food. I'm like, dude, this is a zucchini household. Like, like you got to get on board with the zucchini.
I
But
feel
you
like
guys
Poppy
didn't do the
loved
recipe.
zucchini
Really?
when she was like Santi's age.
It's one of the only things he doesn't
But now
love.
she won't really as much. It's like all the things change, as we know, over like time, and they go back and forth between certain textures or certain things that they like or don't like. Now the veggies that she will eat, green beans always for sure. And I think it's because she can pick it up and it's just like a little snack, you know.
That's cute.
But like zucchini, no, absolutely not.
I'll
Sweet potato or hit or miss.
I'll boil the zucchini in the fideo because he loves fideo. It's kind of pasta-y and like, and I'm like, oh, the soup broth is gonna. Nope, this dude is like.
Even the broth. Oh my god.
He'll spit out like I'll give him a
Same
spoonful.
He's like,
and
there's zucchini essence in this.
zucchini.
Yeah,
I'm like,
same.
Fuck.
Oh my God. I know they really do be picking out the smallest little veggies.
The smallest. It's so funny the way that they do it. No, Saint Shemati he'll make the sounds.
He'll make sure you know he doesn't like it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I have to hide all, like the recipe I sent you guys last night, the recipe with like all the vegetables in it, and I blend it all together.
The pea marinara type sauce.
Yeah,
I need to try that
spinach.
one.
Yeah, and he doesn't eat peas. He won't eat like anything green. Nah, he won't.
Peas are a rough one. I feel like it was so hard to like get into. Speaking of baby-led weaning, like there's a lot of resources for things that are easier to start baby with, these things that you get into eventually, like talking about allergens. Like that was a huge thing that, again, I didn't know about
to do that
before becoming a mom.
Yeah.
Like there's, obviously anybody listening, like there's different ways to do this, but like I know a lot of people get really paranoid and like test the allergens in the hospital parking lot.
What?
There's also,
I've heard
there
of
are some
this.
people that do that because they're so worried.
Goodness.
But
okay, can we just stop and just talk about how dope this recording studio is? I feel like everyone hits me about like where it's at, how cool it is, what's the situation. It's called Project Studios in Monterey Park.
Everything is here, and the staff does everything for you as well. The editing, the producing, the lighting,
the cameras,
everything. But we need that good lighting. Yeah, get out of here.
And you could create such dope content here. Like downstairs is a full production area that literally is like for music videos, big scale production. And next door they even have a place where like you can do flat lays if you sell clothing, jewelry, whatever you sell. It's like professional level studio next door that you can use.
And it's only 9 minutes from downtown LA. And there's parking here in LA. It's so annoying to find parking. And I know that was a big thing when we were looking for podcast space, was where in LA that we can all park and feel safe and feel comfortable. Yes. And that is here. Make sure to follow them on Instagram so you can see more of all the fun stuff they do at Project LA. And you can schedule a creative consultation at projectstudios.com.
Tell them we sent you. I started before, like when I started her baby-led weaning, I was doing yogurt too, because like I didn't want her to not like the puree texture either, because sometimes with baby-led weaning babies, they're so used to all the solid type and like more resistive foods that they then do not like the mashed or the pureed at all. So I was like, okay, let me do all the allergens with your yogurt so that she kind of gets used to the like puree form. And so I like mixed in peanut butter, almond butter.
I'm still scared about the peanut butter.
You haven't introduced it yet?
I have, but the thickness of it, the consistency of it.
That's right.
I get scared like putting it on bread. Yeah, I smash the shit out of the bread.
Have
and,
you done it in smoothies?
Yeah, smoothies.
Does he like smoothies?
No. He does love smoothies, but I haven't put it in there.
Put it into a smoothie. Because even with doing all that, unfortunately, Poppy is allergic to walnuts, which like,
oh no.
I was like, I mix that shit in so early to like try to avoid all this. And like, you could do all the things and like still have a child who has allergies. But yeah, one of the thing with baby-led weaning too is supposed to be like, because you're giving them more like, like rich foods when it comes to seasoning and spices and like all that stuff. It's said to like try to help with their palate, and then also hopefully like they're not as turned off by those things later in life, which I genuinely feel like that led to us having a better feeding journey for Poppy, because she will pretty much try anything like at least once.
Oh, that's
and
I love that.
She'll eat what we eat. Like the other day, my cousin who has a newborn, he was like, "What does she eat?" Because like his kids are older, and it's mostly like pizza and pasta and stuff. And they would always tease me like, when she turns 2, like all of this stuff is gonna go out the window. Like you're not. But
haters.
No, she's still, obviously when she starts school, I know it's another whole transformation, but for the most part, like she still eats like some of the baby-led weaning stuff. I still make like the muffins or like pancakes. I stuff as many things as possible into there to be like nutrient dense, because it's not as like, she's not gonna sit there and eat a cup of spinach. So like I need to figure out how to implement spinach into her
creative ways.
Fun ways. And I feel like one of the biggest resources for me, did you guys follow Solid Starts on Instagram?
No.
Yes.
So that was a big baby-led weaning. Like you could literally, if you think you want to do baby-led weaning and haven't yet, you could literally Google every kind of food, and the Solid Starts website comes up and says, this is the safest way to give it to your baby. And it has like a whole chart where it tells you different ways to cut it and different ways to present it to them as they get older. So it's like 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and then whatever, like how they can progressively. Because at first you kind of have to, as we know, like kind of boil it a little bit so that the carrot's softer. Which obviously, is still stressful, because I have a video the first time we gave Poppy a carrot, and she grabbed it, she looks at it, and she just full on took a whole big old piece, and the video turns off because I'm like, oh my And I'm like freaking out, you know? But later on, come to find out, like she didn't choke on it. Like it's fine if they start gumming it and like swallow it. That's okay. It's when, we did have 2 choking incidents. One with a freeze-dried strawberry.
Oh, no. I haven't had any, thank goodness. But I think because I was paranoid. Yeah, I don't do any freeze-dried anything.
Yeah, it gets too, like, sharp.
Yeah, but even, like, the resources for, like, recipes and stuff at his age, it's a little difficult for me because we are plant-based. We don't give him dairy. We don't give him egg. Yes. Even though we did try to give him egg. I don't eat egg, but my husband eats egg. He's vegetarian. So I was excited to give him egg. Because all of the recipes that I found have egg, like the little French toast, or even the little pancakes, or literally almost muffins. Anything. Yeah, anything. So now we have been trying to give him egg, and he does not like egg.
Saint doesn't.
He does not like the taste of egg. I have never liked the taste of egg, like growing up, and even in adulthood either. So I'm like, okay, I guess he got that from me. Yeah. But it now just makes it
harder.
It's harder, but not harder because I don't eat eggs. So I make
use
like
flax mostly.
I do like chia seed, egg, or even I have like the Bob Mills has like an egg replacement. Right. Yes. So I like bake with that, which is fine. But finding recipes like your muffins, I just substituted with my egg.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So if you add egg into a baked
like
thing,
a muffin,
will he taste it?
I don't know if he will, but I'm eating them. So I'm not making them with egg. Yeah.
Yes. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And he's fine with it. And it's flax, you know, so.
Which is good for him.
He could have that too. Yeah. So for the plant-based vegan meals, it's a little more limited. Yes. And I have to like try to get creative with like what I can give him. Yeah. But then I'm like, okay, well, you're just going to eat more like me than like dad.
Because a lot of it is like, so obviously the point is that we're giving them more of what we eat. But then the hack too is that there's so many baby-led weaning recipes out there, which I feel like for a while I kind of like dove into all that. And I kind of like forgot, oh yeah, she could keep eating what we're eating. Yeah. Because it was like, ooh, all the little like muffins, pancakes, waffles.
All the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff. And I think that, a lot of them are like need to be binded, I guess, like all like pancakes, muffins, all those things, and are baked goods, a lot of baked goods. So I could see how that would be like difficult. But also, a reminder, like we could keep giving them what we're eating, which again, I would do full on meal prep on like Mondays when she was doing baby led weaning, where I would do patties, I would do muffins, I would do pancakes, like the whole.
That's where I am thing. On Sundays. I'll like do the meal
and
prep.
I feel like I was like stressing myself out slightly because I like kind of put it on myself to do that, and then I was like, no, it's okay to like also give her some of what you're eating. It doesn't have to be all these prepped things.
I also give him like little mini Chipotle version bowls, but like my own, like not with rice, but with quinoa. And quinoa is so good for you. So I give him like quinoa with lentils, and he loves broccoli. I'm like, this dude loves broccoli.
So does Poppy.
Like, he will get mad when his broccoli is done. And I'm like, okay, I have to steam you more broccoli.
Oh, my God.
I have to trick Poppy a little bit. I tell her she's a big giant and she's eating trees.
Yeah.
That's cute. Yeah, no, Saint's like...
He's like, get it away.
He's like any of, like, none of that stuff. I know.
Any greens? He doesn't like any? Absolutely none?
Nothing. No. The only thing green he'll eat is just the noodles, like the little sauce that I'll make. That's the only
maybe
thing.
you show him Popeye or something. Because that's how Popeye was getting the kids to eat spinach. And we were with my nephew and my niece, who are roughly 5 and 3. And my niece didn't want to eat, I think it was broccoli. And he was like, no, Mamas, you need it because don't you want muscles like me? And then she's like, oh, yeah. So then she ate it because she wanted her muscles big.
That's where the understanding really does help, because it's like as they get older, you're like, maybe. Oh, Drew tells Poppy, like, you need to get your superpowers back. He says that about sleep and about eating stuff.
That is so cute.
Then she's like, oh, I need to get my superpowers back. And so, and then we tell
that.
Well, the last thing I'll say about this, too, is that when Saint eats with my niece, then what he'll eat because she's eating. If she doesn't eat, he won't eat.
But see, how old is she?
She's 5.
So they do look up to
for sure
the older kids, and they're like, oh, what are they doing? And I see Santi already doing that with my nephew, even though they're like that far apart. I see him watching him and kind of like taking notes. So for my nephew's sister, who's almost 3, she's like, oh yeah, brother's eating the broccoli to get his muscles. I gotta eat the broccoli to get my muscles.
Yeah. See, I gotta do stuff like that. So I'm like always down when his cousin's around. I'm like, hey, she's eating, you can eat too. So
the good things.
Yeah, the good
like
things, yeah.
when they're going crazy, it's like, don't do that. Don't,
no,
don't do that.
Don't learn that,
But
please.
take the good
Oh my
things.
gosh. Well, it definitely does get easier.
Are you sure?
I
Or
think
you're
kind
lying?
of. Kind of. Eventually, you just are like, yeah, they're gonna eat when they're gonna eat because they're toddlers and they're surviving on like Cheez-Its
Like
and
sleep.
air.
Like it's gonna happen when they want it to happen. Whatever.
and air.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's fun. But we still have to talk about baby on the move.
Oh my gosh.
And I definitely want to talk
Terrifying.
about us on the move with baby, like traveling with baby. Have you traveled with
Not
baby?
yet.
Not
so I'll
yet.
be listening and taking
we
notes.
have. Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna talk about like car travel, plane travel,
International travel.
Oh my
I
gosh,
haven't done that
baby
yet.
proofing because now baby is on
Oh
the
my
move.
gosh, yes.
Starting
Baby's on
to
the move, we're
going
on the
from
move.
crawling to walking.
Yeah.
Wow.
We are in the middle still of baby proofing, and we just put in the gate upstairs.
Oh yeah.
So I know you have stairs.
Yes,
so I
we have
definitely
stairs.
want more tea
So
on the
many
baby
gates.
proofing.
Yes.
Getting into it.
We're in the phase of like taking off the baby proofing. So,
Oh,
like,
wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow,
Crazy.
we're not that far apart, but
Lucky.
that's
I
like
know.
opposite worlds.
I
and
know.
also how to make the baby not fall off your bed because apparently that's like a thing.
I don't know this.
Yeah, well, like
Well, because
apparently
your
all
baby
babies-
sleeps in
Yeah.
the bed.
Yes, but he's fallen off the bed before.
Oh,
Oof.
okay. Okay.
Do you have
We'll learn
carpet?
about that.
No.
No, we have hardwood floor
Okay, we need to
Okay.
get into all of the baby proofing and keeping baby on the bed.
on the bed.
Safe. Keeping
and
the
in the
baby
car
safe.
and in the plane. all of the
Safely. Yes,
things we are
yes.
talking next episode, which is episode number 13.
Wow.
Yay!
Countdown to
We're a
quinceañera.
teenager.
Let's go. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on Nightclubs to Nightfeeds. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we are, of course, always continuing the conversation on our social media. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Nightclubs to Nightfeeds. That's at Nightclubs, the number 2, and then Nightfeeds. Make sure to follow us and let us know if there's a topic you want us to cover. Can't wait to chat next time.